great to meet you. And before we get into your career and what has made you who you are, I want to cover what we lived through for the last 3.5 years, going through a pandemic. How did you get through it and how did it change you?
Oh, the pandemic was crazy.
Yeah.
Is it plandemic or pandemic?
Yeah, I get it,
Yeah,
man. What a confusing time.
yeah. I think we survived it. Me and my wife, we survived it, and the kids. Uh, Mentally, it's taken a long time to recover from it. You know, being locked up and having yours just kind of the day-to-day activities taken away from you on a whim has been crazy. I don't think the world will be the same after the pandemic, if I'm honest. You know, changing the environments of working from home, people's outlook on life, and it's crazy times.
Yeah.
It's crazy times, but we made it. We made it through it.
Yeah. So let's get to the essence of what you do for a living. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of third grade kids. It's career day. And one of the kids looks up and asks you, what do you do for a living? How would you answer that child?
I would say I keep people safe at work.
Okay. How would you explain that to me?
I would say to you, I keep people safe mentally and physically in the working environment so they can go home and live their best lives.
So, what did you want to be in the third grade? What was your dream to grow up and become?
Oof, I don't know. I can't remember. So many things. Maybe an astronaut, a race car driver, a football player, a rugby player. I think at that time it was an astronaut. Anything to do with space, we loved it. You know, me
Yeah.
and my brother, we loved it.
So, let's go back to where you were born and raised. And what were the seeds that were put into you that have led to you be an entrepreneur and to help people be safe and to help people? How did that happen?
My upbringing was okay. Uh, we just lived up in a small place called Elgin, where we are. I'm talking from just now. I've got three siblings, a brother and two brothers and a sister. My upbringing was traditional. I'm Asian, so from a Pakistani background, and you know it was a traditional home, and you know mum at home, dad was out working. Dad had his own business. He had a clothing business when we were very young, and then went on to have a food business. So, you know, my early kind of teens, I spent most of that working in the takeaway restaurant with a family. So from that young age, there was a kind of entrepreneur inside me, and yeah, I just kind of grew from there. It wasn't my plan to get involved in health and safety. I originally went to university and studied law, and then when I came out of university, I got involved in finance. Quickly realized it wasn't for me, and I met a man. His name's Colin, that got me involved in health and safety. And from there, it just spiraled. I just really enjoyed it and enjoyed how people could go to work and be so, you know, affected by the actions of the employer. Enjoyed how they put processes and procedures in place to protect individuals.
So, who's been a hero for you in your life?
I would say that my dad. Uh, I've only kind of realized that now as I've got older. And when you become a parent yourself, that you realize what your dad has done for you. And he kind of paved the way for us, give us the best life that we could have had. Um, I was having this conversation with a friend just moments ago, actually, on how uh, my father wasn't always around, but we respected him and we loved him and we enjoyed being around with him. You know.
What was the best advice that you've ever gotten?
The best advice I've got ever has been that stack skills, to stack your skills. And if you have different skills and you have different skill sets, then you decide what the marketplace pays you, and not the opposite way around, that the marketplace decides what your value is. So with a multiple of skills, then yeah, that's been the best advice I've probably ever had. And from that, it's led me here, is stacking skills.
So if you can meet anybody alive on the planet right now and spend some time with them, someone you admire, who would it be?
Oof, that's a crazy question. That it's a hard one as well. I admire so many people for so many different things. I think I actually don't know that. Actually, to be honest with you, Joe, it's a really hard one.
That's okay. That's okay.
I
We'll
actually don't.
if we need to, we can circle back around, but we'll move on. And what I want to know next is, what is the motivator for you every day to wake up, to help people, and to be who you are? What is that for you? What's the motivation?
My kids and my family. You know, that's a motivation. That's enough motivation for anyone. I think that the way the world is at the moment and what's going on in the world is that, you know, we're duty bound to make this world better than the way we found it, and there is the potential to do that um, if you upskill and you work collectively with people around you, and you know, have a vision, and that is the motivation, so that, you know, one day when I'm gone from this world, that my kids are in a safe place, and you know, have opportunities that maybe I didn't have when I was younger.
So, what's been one of your favorite client success stories as a professional?
I think as we've moved now into machine learning and artificial intelligence, um, my success stories are where people don't look, or institutions or organizations don't always look towards AI to replace human skill. I think all my success stories are where they originally thought that they could replace human skill with artificial intelligence, where and they didn't see another avenue to follow down. I think the success is where we can say, right, we're, rather than in integrate artificial intelligence, we can look to advance human skill or complement human skill and improve the workforce, and you know, improve humanity in general, really.
Yeah. So, let's say you have a dream tonight and you run into a 20-year-old version of yourself, and you could give that young version of you a piece of advice based on the wisdom you've gained in your life. What advice would you give your younger self?
Be courageous, be strong and courageous. And my son went to summer school, and they have different phrases, and one of the ones was "be strong and courageous, do not be afraid" is one of the songs. And I would give that advice: just be brave, and you know, follow what you want to do. And I say that to all my mentees now, is that, you know, if I had someone like myself uh, to look up to at that age, and they were telling me what to do, I would have saved myself maybe 10, 15 years in business.
Yeah. So, aside from your family, what are you the proudest of that you've done professionally?
I think, oof, upskilling, you know, I think professionally is upskilling. It takes a lot of effort and energy and sacrifice to upskill yourself. You know, when other people are out doing certain things, enjoying certain life activities that you maybe want to do as well, and you have to sacrifice. And you know, I've went back to uni, I've done a degree, and then I went on to do an MBA, and then constantly learning all the time. So professionally, it's just being able to upskill and transfer into a new environment. For by that, what I mean is like a new working environment.
So, at the end of the day, everyone has an idea of who they think you are: your family, your friends, clients, colleagues. but you're in control of the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Oof. It's a crazy one because you always look to yourself and think to like, I'll give you an example. Um, I've got a team now, or like we're delivering a uni course. We went into partnership with Dundee University, and all of a sudden, I've got 7 extra staff members, and they're all at the top of their field, and they're all looking at me for some kind of wisdom or some kind of advice to say right where we're going to go. So when I see myself, I always say, "Oh, I'm out my depth here, and I don't know what I'm doing." So that's my perception. I'm out my depth all the time, but I keep pushing on. I go back to my motivation is like, I keep pushing on.
So if anyone out there wants to reach out to you, learn more about you, anything about your world, where's the best place to go?
For the health and safety, it's LinkedIn. For our business and career coaching, it would be Instagram.
Wonderful. This has been great, man. No, go ahead.
I was going to say we also our website Pathegy, and our website Demand Safety. They can get us through that.
Excellent. I'll make sure to put it in the show notes. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time today. I appreciate your story. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much, Joe. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Take care.